Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and we are going to be playing some Historic today with Strixhaven cards. So this original idea came from Matt Bamonte. He played something very similar to this in the Hooglandia Open over the weekend. It is a Jund Arcanist deck. He played a Lurrus Companion. I played a couple games with it, but I think I kind of want to just play it with the option to go a little bit bigger with klothys in the main board. There's a lot of graveyard decks right now, so klothys is really impactful in a lot of these matchups. But what's really cool with this one here is you have Witherbloom Apprentice. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you drain a life and you gain a life. And then you get to play Abundant Harvest, which you name a non-land or a land, you get some card draw. You can trigger all these off Arcanist. There's a ton of powerful one-drops. You got Bloodchief's Thirst, Fatal Push, Discard and Kozilek's, and Thoughtseize, Faithless Looting to fill your bin. So you can kind of turbo into Croxas. Knight of Eben Legion is another aggressive threat on one. So you can kind of control the game like that. You got some claims to fames to steal stuff or to kind of revive stuff from your graveyard. And then klothys to kind of attack the graveyard. So I want to try this version out. Sideboard, we have more Fatal Push, the 4th Thoughtseize. I originally was 2 Kozilek's, 4 Thoughtseize. But the deck does do a bit of damage to itself, in part why I wanted to try klothys in the deck. And with a lot of creature decks, having Inquisition is actually pretty good because you can take their creature without taking the damage. So we have a Soul Guide just as general catch-all against the Phoenix decks or the Gearhulk decks. Legion's End, we have a Braids, Weather the Storm versus the Boros Burn deck, or anything casting a lot of spells. Like even think Auras when they have their big turn. You can just gain 3 life for each spell that was cast that turn. Maelstrom Pulse with catch-all removal. And then we have Chandra and Vraska for the more grindy matchups. So this is something I want to try out, see how it goes. It might be wanted to play like Leyline of the Void. But that's 4 mana. You need it in your opener. So I want to try this out. It's not like we can go sideboard if they bring in Graveyard Hate, that we can get rid of some number of these and instead just play like Vraska or Chandra as kind of alternative win conditions. I might even want, instead of Vraska, we can play, let's play Angrath. I love Angrath. Such a good card. Okay. We can also play like Gargaroth, but that might be a little bit too stretched on the mana. But let's see how this goes. Let's gen him out. This is like my favorite type of deck, just pure value. Everything's just efficient removal. But I hope you're enjoying the content. I've been trying to put out as much Strixhaven as possible over the last few days. Haven't been streaming, just been doing recording to just be able to pump through the videos as fast as possible. But we will be back to streaming. Also just kind of want to get a feel for the format. So far I've been enjoying Historic a lot more than Standard. There's just with the Mystical Archives, I think it's just injected such a fresh variety of decks. Standard is kind of Adventure versus Yorion, the ultimate kind of fight. I think this hand's fine. For against a creature deck, we have removal. So I'm actually going... I don't have 2 black mana. So the question is, do I just kill this? And then Witherbloom on 2, and then have Bloodchief's Thirst. Or do I Faithless Looting? I think we Faithless Looting. Perfect, got the mana. So we bin. Because what I can do next turn is claim back my Witherbloom Apprentice. And then Bloodchief's Thirst one of their creatures. And then I can drop Klothys, which will eat all these small creatures. Gutter Bones. So we take that. Next turn, I'm probably going Klothys. I got the Fatal Push. Probably still going Klothys. Oh, well, there goes our Klothys. So I can Kroxa. Kroxa doesn't do too much here. So I think I'm actually going to looting here. Witherbloom gains me life. Can also escape Kroxa. This might be like Fatal Push. Because this needs a turn to attack. I think we're gonna go give me the option route. I could have done actually kept the land and then famed it and then hit the Blood Chief's Thirst from the graveyard. I can just bring this to hand. Okay, so I can Kroxa here, get the card out of their hand. I could Witherbloom Apprentice. If they have Fatal Push, it's not great. So that's actually got to make me shock for it to come in. So I think we do this. Just kill this. Fine. If we had escaped Kroxa, we would have just got hit by that. Okay, so they can bring back both of these. Play them both out. Or play one out. And force them to discard. So you need to be mindful of what you're pulling out of the graveyard. So we have one Blood Chiefs. Do I want the claim? Claim's at least a spell I can cast next turn. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Our mana base at times can be a bit painful. But we're going to get a lot more removal post-board. They'll probably bring in Leyline of the Void, so we can bring in our Chandras and play around that way. One or fewer cards in hand. So I can do this, just give it power and attack in. Can gain some life. I can Kroxa, get cards out of their hand. This unfortunately doesn't give trample. Can I have like a looting? Can I have an abundant harvest? Second Witherbloom's actually not bad. Because I can block 2 of these. I can block 1 of them. Because they're going to have to block this eventually. They're going to 3. Go to 1. I give this haste. Sick. Got there. So it's definitely a Legion's End match. Bring in the Fatal Push. Bring in the Abrades, Pulses. Weather the Storm's interesting, but I don't think we want it. Also bring in the Chandras. So this is a matchup where like Causal Inquisition's good, but we don't want the Thought Seizes. I'm also inclined to trim some of the graveyard interaction a bit. So I'm going to go a Croxa down. I'm going to go a Claim down. I might actually go both Claims down. I have to imagine they're bringing in Graveyard Hate versus us. I can bring a Faithless Looting down. I might just bring all the Faithless Lootings. Do we go down to 1 Croxa? I guess it's like whether or not they have Leyline is the question. Let's treat it like they have Leyline. Run it like that. Abundant Harvest gets us card advantage. We have a bunch of removal. Just try to grind them out that way. This deck doesn't like play a bunch of spells. Normally they're generally 1 to 2 spells max a turn. So it's 2 mana, gain 3 enough with Weather the Storm. I guess it's gain 6 because it's 2 cards cast. So maybe we want Weather the Storm. That can help in the race situation. I have to imagine they're on 2 to 4 ley lines. So, probably go Apprentice. Oh, this Maelstrom Pulse. Oh, this Maelstrom Pulse. No! My Pulse. Not my klothys. Oh, okay, opponent did not read Maelstrom Pulse. I think we're going to go red here. So just hope they don't have discard here. No. Shit. Okay, so they had the discard. I mean, we gotta do this. If we could have dodged like removal for a turn, we would have been okay. Or a discard for a turn. Here, like, they gain the 2, so it really offsets. Can give this one more turn, but we're pretty much on chump block duty. Tell me that's like Fatal Push. Oops. Yeah, I'm dead. They just pump whatever we don't block. Well, the double knight. Okay, so I think we do want Weather the Storm. might be wrong to cut Kroxa here, but I have to imagine they're bringing like Legion's End and Fatal Pushes in, so it's pretty easy post board for them to deal with. So here, I think we go Arcanist. It forces them into the attack and it could potentially let us 2-for-1 them. Removal. Not great on our part. Trying. Literally all 4 of our overgrown tombs is not where we want to be at. I think just getting this off the table is important. Yeah. Chandra? Chandra doesn't work because we do all black sources. Or all overgrown tombs. Abundant Harvest. We're in trouble, folks. That's really unfortunate. The hand was like somewhat iffy keep. Taking Rankle off is correct. They can kill it with Dreadhorde, but this gives me a chance now.
Now you're playing with fire.
They're 2 lands away from getting this Faceless going.
Whatever. Figure it out on your own.
Come on. We just draw. No, you can't draw a card here. Draw 10 lands in your deck. Why do you hate me? So obviously can't do much there when you're like not drawing anything. Maybe it is right there to play the Kroxas if they are bringing a lot of discard, but their deck's pretty small. They have the Death Touch creatures as well. So like that first game we kind of skirted under the radar. So we're going to keep this. We're going to go Knight on 1. Generally like presenting the threat and then disrupting them with discard. Would love another black source. So I usually lead with against blue-white though. Maybe we thought Seas. No, but this hits them for an earlier turn. Okay, they're on flyers. So gotta get Cure out of the way. Or an Esper Flyers. Certainly a deck. I'd love another black source. How about another green source? Because they're gonna Curious Obsession. Do I care about Redain? Not really. I just don't want him to start drawing cards with the Curious Obsession. I've had some really awkward draws. I'm gonna probably start holding lands if we draw Faithless Looting. Like 2 discard spells. So I can pick him off another spell. Just getting choked on black mana is the issue right now. They tapped wrong, they can't Obsession now. Eye Watcher. What the hell? Are you kidding me? So I can take out Redain. Can just pump through some more damage. This, you have to tap 4 flyers. I can't beat that. Why do you do this to me, deck? Are you kidding me? How the hell do they just top deck perfection? Let's get rid of the Thoughtseize. Let's get rid of the Claim. They didn't see any of the graveyard stuff, so I'm fine to keep it in, I think, this game. On the play, I think Kozilek's fine. Pulse is pretty good. Gotta trim 3 cards. Like, they probably can't beat that. They probably bring in like Baffling End. Run it like that. Just go like heavy on removal. I love how we just like managed to pull off all our wrong colored spells. So like with this version, your mana is not as consistent as the Rakdos version, but I do like the inclusion of stuff like Maelstrom Pulse and Klothys. Can we play Jengantha in our deck? I have to get rid of Agadeems. I can play Jengantha. We should be playing Jengantha. Go Apprentice here. Sorry about that. So Fatal Push lets me do it at instant speed, but this lets me hit a larger creature. So let's just do this. throw down this and just attack in. Not really sure what they can get with the learn, but that's a lot scarier than my other stuff. Kira's annoying. I mean, we could still drain them. Whenever this creature for the first time counter. Okay, so they can get Pulse out of the way. Kira's like really annoying. But they kind of have to keep this back. They can double block here. So short mana. So I'm doing this. It drains them, lets me attack in here. I'm holding this land just for Faithless Looting. I like my Maelstrom Pulse here. So we can just kind of grind them. If we draw another spell, doesn't change the math at all. So any spell in our deck's lethal, pretty much. Any instant or sorcery. It's kind of a non-bow because it counters also your Curious Obsession. Just gonna do this to gain life. So we just need to survive this turn. They have 6/9 damage. Another Lord does it. Not a Lord. Hey, there's the looting. Okay, their head explodes. This was actually pretty good. With Kira, probably still want some number of Croxes. So I could go like Inquisition, attack their hand. I like having all the removal. Klothys was good that game. I might be playing one too many lands. Let's just go down Agadeems. I think I'm going to cut a land after this. We've had a few games now where we flooded. Question is, do I want more Croxas or the Inquisitions? This gives me the control. This can steal some of their stuff sack. Let's just run it like this. I feel like most of these games are going to resolve in us just winning with like Klothys. I don't think they bring in like Rest in Peace. This hand's fine because I have Abundant Harvest to find lands if need be. And if I could go Knight into Witherbloom and then to start playing these, it's great. Also like Knight into Dreadhorde into Witherbloom. It's a nice curve. So I think out of one landers, that's the nice thing about Abundant Harvest. It lets us be able to find what we're missing. Legion's End's nice. Land. Sick. I have Spell Pierce. Okay, so that means that they could potentially have one in hand. Again, I'd like a land here. Yeah, I think I'd rather play Arcanist. So Akira here. I could Abundant Harvest on my attack. Can also Faithless Looting. So play this out. Target here. Whenever this creature let's see what they do here. Whenever this creature becomes a target of spell ability for first time, you have to do that. Legion's End's not great here, but with Witherbloom I can just try to get some value. Maelstrom Pulse. I'm already at 6. I'm just dead. This stupid Kira just straight up smacked me. Alright, so Kira the Glass Spinner. Hell of a card. Yeah. Can't do much here. Dead Zoes. So probably want to cut a land here, I think. Bit too much flooding happening. Probably bring in... $22 lands, 23. What's in the side that we maybe want? Probably just another Fatal Push. Cut the Dragon Skull. Bring in Fatal Push. And then probably just like Heart or Angrath's Rampage. Let's try it like that. Give it one more. The problem is too, like, we can't really block well in that matchup, and just we are good to 1-for-1, but when Kira makes everything 2-for-1, it's a lot harder for us to actually push through any sort of damage. It's a keep. That is a keep. This is Knight into Thoughtseize, Shock, Faithless Looting, prop the Knight, discard Kroxa. Let's see if this is Phoenix. Spikefield, Hazard, Brainstorm, Brainstorm, Opt. So I can take him off a land, but I think we just take him off a Brainstorm. It lets him see the most cards deep. I don't really want to... it's actually pretty good. Just get rid of Fatal Push. Next turn is just Knight of Eben Legion, tap land. Can also Faithless Looting. And then make sure I can Kroxa that turn. Yeah, I think we Faithless Looting. All their lands come into play tapped. Double Knight is actually really nice. But like, how do they beat Kroxa? They can bin Phoenix, but it doesn't do too much for them. And then we just present a really fast clock. The double knight plan means, yeah, I think they're more likely to kill these knights. So next turn, Kroxa followed up with Knight of Even Legion. They could discard Phoenix. I still think we win that race. The Lightning Axe versions are usually always Phoenix. Okay, they discard Spike Field Hazard, so no Phoenix there is good. Next turn I can Knight Kroxa, get another card out of their hand. So we'll do this as though they don't have information. Card out of their hand. This just presents lethal. I could have taken the other card out of their hand, but I think just progressing our board's the right call here. Alright, so Fatal Push isn't great here. Same with Blood Chiefs. Don't think I love the Thoughtseize. Abrade's fine. Thought Distortion's fine. Weather the Storm. Pulse. Soul Guide. Do I want Thoughtseize? Because like I don't really want to take damage is the thing. This just exiles their graveyard. They can get Hasters. Blood Chief's Thirst can deal with their bigger stuff. I don't want Thoughtseize. Think we keep it like this. I don't know they're on smaller things, so Legion's End doesn't make a difference. Let's try it like that. Because if you Thoughtseize them, all their cards are pretty much the same. Inquisition at least doesn't do damage. Yep, this sounds good. So we'll name non-land with Abundant Harvest. Try to get Klothys going. We'll shock in here for Dreadhorde. And then follow it up with this. Okay, they're on Sprite Dragon. So I can kill Sprite Dragon. I think we just want to get Arcanist going. We can take a hit here. I'm doing that main phase is nice. And they discard a Phoenix. Okay, so I can Witherbloom here. Which I think is the line. Just to gain some life. And then I think we Abundant Harvest for a land. Because I have the Abrade for the Phoenix next turn. I can Inquisition them. They have 2 Phoenix. Could be bad if they hit multiples. Okay, they're still only at 1. Okay, so they do all that, they get 1 Phoenix, I just Abrade it. They have Shock and Abrade. This is where we get the value engine going. Just take every card from their hand. Do this and then hold up Abrade. When they're just 1-for-1ing, like they're not getting huge cards advantage here. I'm waiting for them to go to combat so they don't get the trigger here. So I think instead of pumping, because it's not lethal anyways, we just do this. This gets around like Flame Sweep or anything. Got it. They wouldn't have had enough mana to do everything. Okay, so that's pretty much the deck. Finally kind of did what we wanted it to. So just kind of this final revised version is where we want to be. Like I said, I like the idea of it. It seems pretty powerful. We might want Stitcher's Supplier instead of the Knight of Eben Legion, just to enable our strategy a bit more. So that's probably something else I'll try out, because it feels like at times we just don't have stuff in our graveyard. So it's probably Stitcher instead of Knight. And then from there, we are pretty good. Like the sideboard as it is, but definitely something to check out. Well, appreciate the support, everyone. If you haven't done so already, please do drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.